Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. I'm Keith Tebow. You may have noticed if you've been watching our remote broadcast that I'm in a different location. I'm actually in our FRCMedia studios today doing some work. It's been 9 weeks since I've been here. It's good to be back for only one day. But we're here and we're still doing our live broadcast on our Facebook page to keep everyone up to date as we continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Today is our weekly visit with the One SouthCoast Chamber, and I'm pleased to be joined by three guests this week. I'm joined by co-CEO Michael O'Sullivan, also the membership manager for the One SouthCoast Chamber, Ian Abreu, and Jill Oliveira. Jill is the owner and operator of Trader Jan's, which you may know here in the city of Fall River, and they're looking forward to reopening very soon. So first of all, the three of you, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. How are you all doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, Keith.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good to see you, Keith.
Yeah, same here. Let me start with Jill because I do want to talk with Mike and Ian on some other issues. So, Jill, I want to ask you about reopening.
Sure.
Obviously, you closed with a lot of other industries back in March, and you're just starting right now to get back into the business. And people may know about Trader Jan's, which is right on Plymouth Avenue, right off the highway off 195. Tell people a little bit about what you've been doing to prepare and how you're looking forward to get back.
Well, we have gone through the shop as far as we've added 2 hand sanitizer stations for all the convenience for us here, as well as our customers. I've also gone down into the range and I have marked off 6-foot separations between all the archers in the range because wearing a face covering while you're trying to shoot your bow kind of hinders your anchor point a little bit. So face coverings are I tried to make it so that you wouldn't have to wear them down in the range, like I said, because the anchor point's important while you're shooting. That's pretty much what I've done. Gone through and cleaned the shop as well.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Jill, what has it been like? Are you I guess what kind of expectation do you have when you're open again to, especially when the archery lanes are back open?
Yep.
What do you have any idea what that's going to be like and how many customers you may get?
Unfortunately, I don't, because we have been closed since March 24th. And we were just officially allowed to be back open yesterday, as a matter of fact, June 1st, to be open to the public. So I really am not sure what I'm going to see for customers at this point. Only because I'm kind of going into my slow season to start with, the summertime. But I'm hoping people start to venture out, maybe getting a little bored in some of the activities they were doing at home and want to get back to doing some archery, friends and family. And I'm just hoping for everybody to kind of come back, I guess.
So let me also ask you, Jill, in terms of your staff there, how many people do you have on staff? How many did you have before? Are they all coming back? How is that working out?
Well, we are a small family-owned business, so it's pretty much me as a full-time staff, and I have another person here, Jonathan, that helps me out from time to time. In fact, he's actually here now helping me out, and he's going to come back and help me out. And of course, since it's a family business, I'm here all the time, so it's just pretty much the two of us.
Were you able to take advantage as a small business of the federal funds, the PPP that was offered by the federal government in terms of, being able to pay your staff and being able to continue on as best you could without opening to the public?
Unfortunately, I was not able to take advantage of any of the benefits. The PPP, because I am a smaller mom and pop business, I guess I didn't quite have enough to show for payroll and everything. So I didn't qualify for that. And unfortunately, I also didn't qualify for, was it that EIDL loan? So yeah, I'm kind of one of the unlucky few that was kind of left to fend for myself.
Yeah. Mike, do you have any questions for Jill? I know I usually ask either Mike or Rick to ask some questions. Do you have any questions?
You hit on the big one, which was I was going to ask her about her staff. How has the reception been since you've been back since yesterday?
Well, we're actually closed on Mondays, so this will actually be our first day fully back. And so we'll see. So far, I only have one customer so far. I did adjust the hours accordingly. So I'm now only going to be open 1 to 6 for the next few weeks until I see how everything goes.
Okay.
Yeah. How about in terms of getting the word out? I'm sure a lot of businesses now use social media. How are you getting the word out? Do you have a customer base that you email to? I mean, how are you getting the word out that you'll soon be back in business?
I don't really have an email list. I find social media has been the best for me. So I do a lot of Facebook posts, Instagram, and I've just been doing posts like that even before, keeping customers updated on what's going on here in the store. Yeah, and that's just pretty much how I get the word out, word of mouth and social media.
So how exciting is it for you? Is it almost sort of like starting from scratch again in some ways? The excitement of maybe starting your business, but there's so many unknowns, right? There's so many unknowns when you start a business. And in this situation, you're sort of restarting in some ways. So has there been a mix of excitement with a mix of anxiety?
Definitely. We have been around for 30 years, but even having all those years behind us as the family business, being completely shut down for 3.5 months definitely takes a toll on me as running the family business, as well as my mother trying to also help me figure out how to navigate to get the customers back in the store so we can keep the family business going.
Yeah. Well, Jill Oliveira from Trader Jan's on Plymouth Avenue, good luck with reopening. We hope everything goes well. And yeah, you are sort of in a down season when it gets warmer, right? It's more of an indoor event at Trader Jan's. So hopefully everything will turn around for you. And thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Take
Thanks,
care.
Jan.
Bye.
Thank you.
That
Jan,
was
I called her Jan.
see, you did it, Mike. You know, we were talking about, I told her before that I would call her Jan. I didn't, you did. There you go. So now we're just joined by Michael O'Sullivan, the co-CEO, and Ian Abreu, who is the membership manager. Mike, let me just start with you with a couple of questions. The governor yesterday, again, laid out a little bit on how phase 2 will start beginning next week. He's going to have some details coming up later on this week. From what you see, last week he mentioned about restaurants and some lodging. From what you see, how do you think it'll be beneficial to members of One SouthCoast Chamber?
You know, the faster we can get open, the better off everyone is. That being said, we still have to stay safe. We still, so we really have to go through the protocols and make sure that we do everything the right way, as opposed to just rushing to get open. But some of our members are getting a little restless and feisty. A week or two ago, you had asked me about the Rhode Island restaurants being open and what are we hearing from the Massachusetts restaurants. And when Rhode Island first opened, there wasn't a lot of crazy feedback, but the Massachusetts restaurants are getting restless and want to get open and feel the need to be open and don't see why somebody that's a mile or two away can be open. But they're not allowed to be open completely yet. So, we've got challenges like that are big ones, but we're getting there.
And that's something, obviously, we're going to find out more about this week, some specifics, with restaurants and the governor's plan. And, let me just ask you, Mike, as well. It's now been like 2 full weeks since the phase 1 opening. What are you hearing from some of those businesses that have reopened? We talked with Lily last week from Hair in Motion in New Bedford and how she's been experiencing things. Are we hearing that there's a steady flow of customers in some of these businesses?
Businesses are doing well. It's not as steady as they would like, but there are some, there are some categories of business that are doing better than others. And actually, Ian would be great at answering that question because he's been running all over the South Coast on our behalf for a promotion we're doing called Signs of Life, where he's actually getting in and taking pictures of the businesses that are reopening. So I'll, if you don't mind, I'll let Ian jump in on that one as well.
Yeah, Ian, go right ahead.
Thank you, Keith, and it's good to see you, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm sure, as you know, I'm very bashful and shy when it comes to being on the air. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's great to see you, though, again. Yeah. But anyway, Mike's right. Myself and one of my other colleagues, we've been all over the region, really engaging with our small businesses and our members here in the community, not just in New Bedford, not just in Fall River, but throughout the entire greater South Coast catchment area that we represent, from Wareham all the way to Seekonk to Warren, Rhode Island. We've been all over the place, and there's optimism, there's cautious optimism. I find that folks are excited, they're happy, they're engaged. But they're also taking the proper precautions. They're making sure that they have the hand sanitizer stations, that they're cordoning off certain areas for social distancing. And I'll tell you, the salons and the hairstylists and the barbershops, and I know you had Lily on last week, they're doing phenomenal right now. I've got members of ours and friends of mine who own salons here in the greater New Bedford, South Coast area, and you can't, if you wanted to go get a haircut there, I know I don't have that problem, but if you wanted to go get a haircut there, you couldn't, because they're so stacked up, they're so booked up. Because think about it, they have their regulars. It's been over 3 months where they can't see their clients and take care of their needs when it comes to their hair and styling of their hair. And so now they're booking all those appointments now, getting in all those regulars. So a lot of these people can't even get walk-ins, because the bookings have just been so phenomenal for the salon members that we've seen. So that's a good thing. And of course, it'll level off at some point. It'll calm down. But the salons and the barbershops and hairstylists, by my accounts, from my contacts, they're all doing very well right now, and it's good to see.
Yeah. Ian, I also want to ask you about membership. So we talked a few weeks ago about how the chamber is being cognizant of members' finances and giving some forgiveness in terms of renewals and allowing people to pay later on in the fall if their memberships are up. And there's also, some new member drive that started from the beginning of the year. How has membership looked over the last few months? And are more and more people looking to, say, the One SouthCoast Chamber to give them some services that they may not have thought they needed in the past, but because of what's been going on, that they are in need of some of those services?
I'll tell you, Keith, you can tell that you're a pro in this, because that's a very good loaded question, and I can go off for a half hour on that question.
Well, we don't have that much time.
I know, but I'm not going to do that for you, so I'll try to keep it very brief and quick. Membership's been fine. To your point, what we've been able to do is we've been offering this program, which really there's no other chambers around, and I'm networked all throughout the country. And I'm not putting down any other chambers. They're all phenomenal in what they do in certain ways, but we're the only one that I've seen that's been offering this join now, pay later program, because we want to let our constituents know that we're here for them. We're here to support them. We're here to lift them up. So listen, if you have the means to pay for your membership dues, of course, we'll process your membership and you'll be activated and we'll take care of it. But if you're financially struggling right now, if you've been closed due to the COVID crisis, if you had to lay people off, if maybe you didn't qualify for the PPP or the EIDL or any type of grant funding through the state or federal government, we'll let you know, hey, look, we know money is tight. We want to help you get marketed. We want to help you get out there. So you can join now. And then come September 1st, we'll have a discussion. We'll see where you're at. Hopefully, by September 1st, you're in a place where you could afford the membership dues. And if if you're in a situation right there where you can't afford the dues, we'll talk about financing or something. So we'll figure out a good deal for everybody any way we can. And even for our members who are currently in the chamber, we're not leaving them out of the fray. If you've been closed and if you're struggling, we'll work out a finance plan for you for your membership renewal, or we can talk about putting off your payments till September 1st as well. So this just isn't for new members, it's for our current members as well. So that's important to note additionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all hope that, come September, we're sort of back to normal as much as we can, and the chamber will be able to take benefits of the membership, paid membership of some of these members. But again, I appreciate both Ian and Mike for joining me today. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Mike, we can hear you this week. Last week.
That's right. Last week, I don't know what happened.
Mute. We couldn't figure that out, and I still can't figure out what happened last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Keith. Bye-bye now.
Take care, Keith.
And I want to thank you all for joining us again this week as we discuss with the One SouthCoast Chamber the great work they're doing and making sure our businesses continue to survive via and with the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm Keith Tebow. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk again soon.